I'm honored to welcome all of you to the celebration of the 15th anniversary of African Jesuit AIDS Network, AJAN. We have started this happy day with the celebration of the Mass presided by His Eminence John Cardinal Njue. It is a thanksgiving action to God for His blessings on AJAN during the 15 years of existence of AJAN, 15 years of service and compassion, 15 years of loving actions, 15 years of presence and solidarity with people who are infected and affected by HIV and AIDS across Africa and Madagascar. As a network, AJAN is composed of a headquarters located in Kangemi, a poor neighborhood of Nairobi, and many field projects in more than 20 countries in Sub-Saharan Africa. In reality, AJAN is found where AIDS meets the Jesuits and their co-workers. We are happy to gather today as a family from AJAN headquarters, and from the field project. We are happy to come together with the people for whom we dedicate ourselves, together with our local and international partners who support us in many ways. We are happy to come together to celebrate this day with all of you. It is an opportunity for us to share with you some of our services, our stories of love, our story of solidarity and compassion. Some representatives of our centers have accepted to take you inside their loving stories with the infected and affected people in their various settings, in their various countries. They don't have a lot of time to take you deep in their reality, but all the pieces together will provide you with a glance picture of the African Jesuit AIDS Network. There are some materials, tools and books, booklets, flyers, and others in the stands outside that will tell you more about AJAN. Please feel free and feel welcome to visit the stands and get some souvenirs for yourselves, for your families and friends. For now, I wish to express to you the warm welcome of AJAN. Karibuni sana. Have a wonderful and lovely time with us, and God bless you.
Reverend Father, the President of GISAM, Reverend Father Rector of Hekima College, the Father Director of AJAN, Reverend Fathers, Reverend Sisters, dear brothers and sisters. I'm coming from Kisangani. This is in the Democratic Republic of Congo, 2,000 kilometers from the capital city, Kinshasa, and almost 2,000 kilometers from the capital city of Uganda, which is Kampala. So you can see where I'm coming from. I have no speech because we have talked already a lot in our assembly, but I wanted just to give kind of, a testimony. When I was preparing to come here, I was wondering what I'm going to say, and then came in my office a young boy who is a beneficiary from our activities in Kisangani, Paklon Sida. So I was talking to him, then it came in my mind to tell him that I was going away to AJAN for AJAN assembly, and then he was telling me, what are we going to talk about again? Are you going to talk about these things we are hearing that, HIV is no more relevant and people are just pulling out of it, they are no more interested, and then what are you going to do there, and what can we expect when you come back? Is it that when you come back you are going just to tell us, man, I've heard the things there, so here also we are going to close? So I asked him to tell me what he was, feeling and what he thought I should, share with you. So he said, Father, tell your fellow AJAN members and everybody will speak to, HIV and AIDS is far from disappearing here. Someone will deceive himself if he thinks so, especially in this part of the world. I can compare the situation of fighting HIV and AIDS to the situation of evangelization. We don't have to stop speaking, otherwise many people will go astray. From where I come from, there are people who know about HIV, but they don't speak. Others don't know. Others know and speak, but they are not heard. HIV and AIDS is a matter of behavior change. In that situation, what about the newborn ones and those who are growing up nowadays? If we say HIV no more relevant and close, as some NGOs have done already, who will be talking to them so as to give them good information? I had no answer. Then he continued, in my village, where my parents came from, people see a priest almost once a year or once in 2 years' time. That's when all the village go for Catholic prayer again. That's when they take communion. That's when those who can go for confession do. This is also the situation about HIV and AIDS, and that's why lots of people are passing away. If that work of fighting AIDS was to be done just once in 2 years, I would have already died. I am so lucky to have been brought in town, but children and other persons who are in the remote and non-accessible villages wait and wait and wait until they die. That goes until today. Tell the people you will meet that now more than ever, efforts have to be done so as to reach to the people who are left outside the streamline of HIV management in capital cities like Nairobi, Kinshasa, or Kisangani. Tell them also that we are thankful, that we highly appreciate the support and their commitment toward the suffering of the population. Reverend Father, dear brothers and sisters, I am glad that I will go back and bring the good news to this adolescent, telling him that after 15 years of service, AJAN and partners, we have committed ourselves to engage again more and more in the best ways we can to tackle the challenge of HIV and AIDS, which is still a burden to the African population in general, though we don't have means, but we have been energized to go with the only arm we have is love. Thank you very much.
I've been asking Father to remind me of his name. It's quite hard. It's quite hard. Three things I picked from Father's speech, which really is quite moving. There are those who know but don't speak. Those who know something about HIV and AIDS and its effects, but they don't speak about it openly. There are those who will speak, but nobody listens to them. And lastly, a group that do not know at all, and no one speaks to them. So that's the situation we have in not just in DRC, but from several parts of our beloved continent. At this point in time, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to invite a speaker from Madagascar, Center Social Arupe, something like that. And after that, we'll have a brief entertainment. Then we'll continue with the speeches. The representative from Madagascar, please.
Again, we congratulate AJAN for this 15 years to serve and love among the people who live with HIV and AIDS. It is a service, of course, because the mission belongs to the Christ, and the Church sends all of us to fulfill this mission. I'm sorry to prepare my intervention in French, so maybe the president of AJAN can help to translate it in English. I start with our social center history. Le centre social Arupe. Arupe is our father who helped us to commit much more in the social area. And our center takes his name. Le centre social Arupe a existé officiellement depuis le 15 mai 2005, date de l'inauguration de son siège dans l'enceinte de l'écart Farabouit Antananarivo, Madagascar. Sa raison d'être est la mise en pratique de l'engagement de la Compagnie de Jésus, le service de la foi et la promotion de la justice selon la 32e congrégation générale de la Compagnie de Jésus, décret 4. Le centre social est donc une œuvre de la Compagnie de Jésus à Madagascar, sous la coordination de l'apostolat social et écologique. Elle est formée d'une équipe de jésuites, laïcs, religieuses, afin d'accomplir sa mission dans l'Église et la nation à Madagascar. Sa devise, foi engagée pour la justice. Sa vision, société plus juste et monde plus viable selon l'Évangile. Sa mission, animée par une foi engagée pour la justice, a comme mission de promouvoir la recherche des solutions pérennes aux problèmes de la société malgache, y compris bien sûr le problème de la santé et particulièrement le VIH-Sida, en faveur et avec les pauvres dans les dimensions économiques, politiques, socioculturelles et religieuses. L'objectif du CSA est un outil permettant d'atteindre les objectifs de l'apostolat social, se basant sur les objectifs de l'apostolat social et écologique, comme je viens de le dire, coordonner les projets sociaux et sensibiliser les jésuites sur l'apostolat social, promouvoir la culture du droit et de justice évangélique, favoriser les activités qui luttent contre la pauvreté et l'injustice, développer les formations professionnelles et renforcer les capacités, promouvoir une culture de vie et de dialogue et contribuer à la recherche sur des causes d'injustice sociale et moyens adéquats pour la lutte contre l'injustice. Comme ce centre, il y a beaucoup d'activités. Parmi elles, la recherche et la documentation, la formation et l'éducation, la santé et la famille, dans lequel nous travaillons avec AJAN pour la lutte contre le VIH-Sida, le monde du travail et le monde rural. Maintenant, je vais parler de notre pastoral de la santé et de la famille, où nous travaillons pour la lutte contre le sida. La pastorale de la santé et de la famille, historiquement, c'est un choix pour l'option préférentielle pour les pauvres. Le centre social s'est intéressé aux personnes affectées et infectées par le sida. Ainsi, en 2006, c'est-à-dire quelques années après l'AJAN, un projet sur l'action chrétienne dans la lutte contre le VIH-Sida a été mis en place. Ce fut le premier projet mis en place par le centre social et qui a donc reflété sa première et sa principale activité. Le projet a été accompagné dès son début par le réseau jésuite africain contre le sida, AJAN. Il a pris son envol avec la volonté de Catholic Relief Service Madagascar, c'est le Caritas américaine, d'appuyer les actions de lutte contre le sida, et c'est ainsi que la pastorale de la santé a pris naissance. Ce projet contenait un volet éducation relatif à la lutte préventive contre le sida, dans la volonté de renforcer le côté éducation. Le centre s'est aussi focalisé sur la famille en 2011 en travaillant avec les paroisses, la pastorale de la famille de la paroisse dans laquelle le centre s'installe. En 2012 ont eu lieu la mise en place et la mise en œuvre du projet épiscopal sur la planification familiale naturelle, famille heureuse et en harmonie, mettant en exergue les valeurs chrétiennes d'une famille révélant la mutuelle entente entre les époux, la transmission. 2013-2015, les objectifs spécifiques de la pastorale de la santé et de la famille sont la réduction des comportements à risque en matière d'IST, c'est-à-dire des maladies sexuellement transmissibles, le VIH y compris et le sida, des adolescents et des jeunes par la promotion de l'éducation à la vie, à l'amour, EVA, et le EHAPI, proposé par l'AJAN. Promouvoir l'école parentale, mener des séances de sensibilisation sur la santé de la femme enceinte, des dépistages de prise en charge médicale, psychosociale et spirituelle des patients IST et PVVIH, means person who lives with AIDS and HIV. Améliorer le niveau de vie des gens associés dans le groupement, scolarisation, santé, alimentation. Puis l'année dernière, 2016, les objectifs spécifiques s'étaient focalisés sur la définition des facteurs limitant l'efficacité de la prise en charge globale du VIH dans 4 régions significatives de Madagascar. L'augmentation de l'implication des leaders religieux, responsables, jeunes et adultes par la promotion de l'EVA et EHAPI. l'augmentation de l'utilisation des services de consultation médicale, de testing de la syphilis et du VIH-Sida dans les zones d'intervention et améliorer l'accès à la prise en charge complète de VIH-Sida et des IST classiques. Comme nous venons de finir cet atelier avec AJAN, il y a des directives nouvelles que nous allons mettre en place aussi dans notre centre. Il y a des projets à améliorer selon la demande de notre société actuelle et selon la réalité aussi, car notre monde bouge beaucoup, la société bouge. Et un des défis que nous allons affronter, c'est sur le plan financier, bien sûr, avec tout le monde, pour que la lutte continue, c'est-à-dire la lutte contre le sida continue. Donc, je vais finir avec ce souhait pour nous tous, les membres de AJAN, les personnes vivant avec ce virus, et j'espère que même si notre effort est trop petit, Dieu nous aide de faire quelque chose mieux et bien et d'aider toujours nos prochains pour lutter ensemble contre ce fléau qui tue, car nous sommes appelés à promouvoir la vie, non pas la mort, à aider les gens à la culture de la vie que le pape Jean-Paul II aimait à répéter. Ainsi, je vous remercie. Thank you very much.
Asked me a very tough mission. I'm not an English-speaking person, but I will try. As he mentioned, it would be a summary. So Father Cyprien started by mentioning that where they are working is a social center called Arupe. And the center has been named after the Father General called Arupe, who committed himself strongly in the area of social justice and whom we know very well in the area of the refugees, especially today that we are talking about migration. So the center wanted to take his will, his commitment for more justice in the society. And the center was created in May 2005, precisely 15th of May. And the center really wanted to commit itself to embrace the commitment of the church for the service of faith and for social justice. And the center is composed of a team of laymen, religious people, priests, Jesuit and co-workers, and is really dedicated for justice and to bring in Africa or in Madagascar a just society. And the mission of the center is to promote a long-term solution in health and also HIV and AIDS areas. The center wants then, from this mission, to promote human rights culture, to bring to people a culture that respects human rights. The center also wanted to empower people to embrace also life culture, a culture for life and dialogue in a society where people can come together and dialogue and communicate. Then the area where they undertake the mission or the work for HIV and AIDS is the pastoral for health and family. In the center, they have many components. But where is located the commitment for HIV and AIDS is the department, the sector that they call pastoral for health and family. Then in this sector, their main objective is the option for the poorest of the society. And among those poorest are the people who are infected and affected by HIV and AIDS. So they work in partnership with AJAN, with the network, to carry out this mission that was entrusted to this sector of the center. They work also with local partners, physicians and others, volunteers who wanted to help them, to support them to achieve this goal. And in the area of HIV and AIDS, they really engage themselves in prevention. Which includes education to reduce the infection or the rate of the diseases like IST and the infection of HIV and AIDS. They work also in the health reproduction area in order to help women to plan naturally for their children and in order to be able to care for them. They go also for visiting, treatment, care, counseling, and fight the obstacles that hinder their objective, that hinder their goodwill to bring hope, joy, and life to the people who are suffering from HIV and AIDS. And at the end, he mentioned what he got from the assembly of AJAN that ended just yesterday. From that sharing, he's carrying with him the will to improve his activities out of what he heard from the best practices of the other members of the network. But he didn't forget to mention some challenges. The challenge of financial resources that is lacking, and he wishes to all of us, people who are infected, to the people who commit themselves in this battle, he wishes that in spite of the limits of our action, he wishes that God gives us strength to help people to embrace culture of life and to bring hope, joy, and peace to people who are in need. So this is the summary that I got from his sharing.
Twawaomba kusikiza, tutawajuza kaumu, muda hatutapoteza, tumetunga kwa kalamu, maisha mwateketeza, wewe acha kucheza na moto. Different but important values they are, laying down our life's principles to keep us focused by far. Consider well what value is, what is important to you, as it could affect history. What do you value in life? I value what I want to be. I value life. I value growth. Our life itself is our very brain. Without such values, you wapi mwandani wetu? Ni swali twawauliza. Ewe, acha kucheza na moto. Vikundi nimejiweka, mwajiona muhodari, kwa pamoja mnawaka, hamuoni kama hatari, majina mebandika, eti sponsare, lanawili, wewe, acha kucheza na moto. hiyo ngoma inachoma na maini, haibagui kina mama, tajiri na masikini, ukimwi kamwe hina mema, tawaacha maafkani. Wewe acha kucheza na moto. I value hard work and self-care. I value respect and patience. I value integrity and compassion. That's why I'm here today. I value faith. I value hope. I value prudence. I value all that Ahabi has taught me. From the saints of Aloysius. Si tuonane, tumemaliza.
Thank you.
So I'm talking of Jesus. Why? Simply because our service is called Service Yesu Mwiza. So it's just to correct what he said, Yesu. Back home, when you use Yesu, you are talking like Protestants. For Catholics, they say Yesu. Yes, with Z. So just a small correction. So Reverend Father Roberto, President of AJAN, Reverend Father Afuro, Provincial Eastern Africa Province, Reverend Father Elfej, Director of AJAN, Reverend Fathers who are here in our midst, Reverend Sisters, dear brothers and sisters in Christ, good morning. So it is my joy and my happiness to be here today to tell you about the story from Burundi. If we are talking of the Jesuits working in the AIDS field, Burundi too being a small country in the eastern part of Africa, we too as Jesuits there, we are contributing to the fighting against HIV. And coming back to the name Yesu Mwiza, it means in English, compassionate Jesus. And I think as we were celebrating the solemnity of the Sacred Heart of Jesus, where his compassion is mostly seen, I think our work also should reflect that compassion. Yesu Mwiza came as an offshoot of AIDS project of GRS, which was working in Burundi. And now we are celebrating 10 years of service and accompaniment and life in the midst of people living with HIV/AIDS. So our activity rank from raising awareness to taking care of those people living with the HIV in a comprehensive way, but also in empowering them economically, socially, and spiritually. Today we have more than 1,300 people living with HIV. We work, we advocate for, and we live with. On top of those people, we have more than 4,000 orphans and other vulnerable people we serve. The activity of the Jesuits in Burundi are present in 11 out of 18 provinces of the country. And our hope is to cover the whole country in doing what Jesuits are good at, being close and living with those people who are the last, the least, and the lost of our community. If I can talk about our activities that we are doing today, the first one I will talk is the activity in PMTCT, which means the prevention of mother-to-child transmission of AIDS. And with that, at least we are accompanying more than 200 women and couples. And more than 30 kids were born without HIV/AIDS till now. The second one is that, as we know, the youth are the future of our countries. And we are doing the networking service, health services of the youth around schools and around health centers in Burundi. And for that, we are operating in the 3 provinces where we help more than 1,000 youth. But also, another thing that we do is that we are helping youth who are evolving in religious circles. Sometimes we think that those youth who are always there at the church, at the parish, who are in the choir, cannot get HIV/AIDS. And yet, those are the kids who are more exposed more than any other person. Why? Because they can be part of those forgotten part of our people. So, Yezumiza is intervening in those areas too. We are dealing also with the community response as part of the government solution to ending HIV/AIDS in the country. With this, we are part of the civil society organizations that are executing the Global Fund project in Burundi. And for this, I think, as we were sharing with others, that we do not need to be alone. Other people who are doing it too. So we have to partner with both the public and the private organizations that are leading to the same goal as we do. Lastly, is that we are doing the professional formation for all those orphans and vulnerable children, but also we are striving toward economic empowerment of those people living with HIV that are our beneficiaries. I can talk of figures, I can talk of funds, but what is the most important thing that I can retain from this job that I've been doing since 2 years ago? Is that our legacy as Jesuit is not to amass so much money, is not to have so many people, but our legacy is to touch really and to change profoundly those people we came in touch with. Our legacy is to change, is to transform, it is to reinsert those ones who feel excluded. That should be my legacy as being part of Yezumiza. That should be our legacy as Jesuits that are working in this field of HIV. I want to conclude my speech by thanking AJAN once again for supporting our activity on a daily basis. Because without their help, without their coordinating activities, without their finances, we can't go far. And I thank all of the Jesuits who are here and who, in their daily activities, they think of those people who can be thought of as the last, the lost, and the least. May God bless you all.
To a neighbor is not about money. So don't wait to get money to reach to your neighbor who is in need. And it's all about one person at a time. That one person whose life you touch reflects a lot. So thank you so much, Father Pierre. My mother tongue interference actually did not allow me to pronounce Yezu. I'm used to Yesu. So I hope you will understand that. Let me now invite Madame Onela from Togo to share with us.
Peut-être le Père Eiffel va venir encore traduire ce que j'ai à dire. Donc Père Eiffel, je vous prie de venir après. Le Centre Espérance Loyola, qui est au cœur de Aguenivé au Togo, est un centre des Jésuites qui est à proximité du centre culturel Loyola et de la communauté des Jésuites au Togo. Actuellement, le centre a 10 ans. Nous faisons plusieurs activités. Au début, c'était plus centré sur le VIH-Sida, mais au fur et à mesure, nous avons évolué avec d'autres activités à l'instant de la violence faite aux femmes et puis les questions liées à l'abus sexuel, tout ce qui est en lien avec les femmes. Parce que nous avons constaté qu'au fur et à mesure, c'est les femmes qui sont les plus infectées. Enfin, les personnes qui viennent au centre, au laboratoire du centre, c'est les femmes. Et donc, nous avons centré en un moment donné aussi nos activités sur les femmes. Sur notre file active, c'est-à-dire les personnes qui sont déjà infectées par le VIH-Sida, nous voyons que c'est plus les femmes. Et donc, nous voyons comment aider ces femmes par rapport à la discrimination, à la stigmatisation et aussi à l'intégration socio-économique. Le centre culturel Loyola offre aussi des soins aux enfants, des abus scolaires, le groupe de soutien, l'accompagnement, qu'on nous appelons l'écoute et conseil pour les jeunes. En même temps, le groupe de soutien pour les jeunes, il y a aussi des activités pour les jeunes qui rentrent dans le suivi éducatif, éducation à la vie et à l'amour. Ça, c'est pour les orphelins. Au niveau des PVVH, c'est-à-dire les personnes vivant avec le VIH, nous faisons le groupe de parole. En dehors du groupe de parole, il y a les activités génératrices de revenus. Et puis, nous faisons aussi l'accompagnement de ces personnes pour surtout les soutenir sur tous les plans. La prévention est plus axée sur toutes ces activités, en l'instant de la sensibilisation dans les établissements, dans les chambres régionaux de métiers et aussi dans la commune elle-même avec tous les environnants de Lomé. Le centre offre plusieurs activités que nous ne pouvons pas citer vu le timing, mais presque nous sommes dans tout ce que les autres font déjà. Merci.
On est là, the representative of CEL. CEL is a Center for Hope and Loyola Center for Hope, which is located in the neighborhood called Agoe-Nive in Lomé, Togo. And the center is also close to another center called Loyola Cultural Center, where they deal with education for young people. And it is also next to the Jesuit community. And the center is now 10 years old. The center is opened 10 years ago. And the center was mainly dedicated to the fight against HIV and AIDS. But today, it is more and more extended to other health issues and social issues like the empowerment of women, because most of the beneficiaries of the centers are women, and they are living in a society where they are discriminated. So when they target the women and the young people and the fight against HIV and AIDS, their work or their activities also encompasses the fight against stigma and discrimination, care for children, counseling, VCT, education for life and love, income generating activities, prevention, that is extended since it is a center. They are in partnership with the schools of the city, and they go from time to time to the city to sensitize young people, students, and also to engage the teachers to carry on this sensitizing activity. So mainly, this is the summary of what Ornella shared with us. She didn't want to extend to many things because she realized that most of the things that they are doing also is done by other centers who have already shared and that will also come to share their own stories. So this is the lovely story of Centre Espérance Loyola Center for Hope. Thank you very much.
I recognize the presence of the president for the Conference of Jesuit Major Superiors, Father Roberto, the presence of the Provincial Superior for Eastern Africa Province, Father Furo, the Director of AJAN, Father Kenom, our guest of honor, Sister Mary Owens, my brother Chris and my sister Regis, all protocols observed, and may I simply say, dear brothers and sisters. So I bring you greetings from Zambia, Malawi province. So AJAN extends her influence even in Zambia and Malawi. And I come from a parish, the southern part of Zambia, known as Chikuni Parish, which is within a bigger context of Chikuni Mission. So we are also journeying with our brothers and sisters living with HIV and AIDS. And our parishes in Zambia and in Malawi and our schools have equally taken on activities that we share across the continent. Of particular importance to our mission in Chikuni, in Zambia, has been an approach where we journey with our brothers and sisters in the villages where they come from. So we are from a rural setting, so health institutions are far away from other people. And what has been the cornerstone of our project in Chikuni Mission is to take health services to the villages where our brothers and sisters are. So this entails collaborating with the local hospital, which provides medical personnel, provides the drugs, and we provide transport. And we go out to the villages 3 times, 4 times a week to deliver these services to our brothers and sisters. That has been the cornerstone of our project for 17 years now, and with, again, the collaboration of AJAN. With the advent of antiretroviral therapy, now that our brothers and sisters have the strength to do daily chores, we thought we move into another phase of helping them to be economically independent. So again, as is the case in other parishes across the continent, we got into income generating activities. So we encouraged our brothers and sisters to form self-help groups, support groups, where they can save money, borrow money, start small businesses, keep small livestock, have organic gardens, and then we continue to support them with finding market for those products. So that's another phase that we adopted beyond just doing home-based care. And our hope is that as they strengthen their support groups, they strengthen their associations, eventually they can even register themselves with the Register of Societies and be in a position to apply for their own grants and be able to implement their own projects. So that's how we hope to sustain this operation. We hope that eventually our brothers and sisters we've been journeying with can be independent and can run their own cooperatives in their villages. So those are some of the activities that we do in Zambia and in Malawi, again with the support of AJAN, with the encouragement from this wider family which has gathered us here today. And I end with a word of encouragement, just as much as we get encouraged when we meet with brothers working, sisters working across the continent. And my words of encouragement go to every one of us gathered here, that it remains our call to accompany our brothers and sisters. It remains our call to journey with all those in need in our communities. So a few people that just work in projects can't do much. But if each one of us is able to extend that compassion, you know, Yesu Mwiza was encouraging us at family level. If each one of us is able to extend that support at friendship level, then we are on a good trajectory to be people of hope, as Saint Esperance Loyola is reminding us. So if each one of us does their bit, encourage a young person, encourage our brother and sister in distress, then we are on the right trajectory to overcoming this pandemic and to once again be people of hope and people living in peace and harmony. So may we go forth with our various works, with our various commitment, trusting that God is with us, and with God on our side, we will overcome even that which appears impossible. Thank you very much.
By Father Kinom. They started, I think, with working with the youth, but they realized there were far much bigger issues in the society that they needed to attend to. Now, one of the things that we continue to discover in life is that once we're done with climbing a mountain, we realize that there are still several hills to climb as well. And I'm saying this from experience. In high schools, we've been going with the Happy program in different schools in Kenya. We've been to Uganda and in Tanzania. And we realize the problem affecting our young persons today is not just HIV and AIDS. Many of them do not have, know very little about sexually transmitted infections. But a bigger problem cropping up has got to do with devil worship as well. So that is one thing, as a Happy, working with a Happy, we've come to realize. The last school we were in, I think earlier this month, in northern Kenya, about 10 students asked us to explain what an Illuminati is. Let me just read one. This is a question from a student, a young person. We have been hearing of devil worship, but we actually do not know it deeply. Devil worship scares us when we hear that one can join it very easily, but it is so unfortunate that we do not know about it that much. Kindly, can you just show us some of the videos or photos of their signs and their way of worship, please? Unfortunately for them, we only had the videos and photos of Catholic worship, so we couldn't respond to that question appropriately. So those are some of the challenges that our young persons are going through. And you realize that the latest statistic is that the adolescents, the rate of infection among adolescents in Sub-Saharan Africa is actually going up. So still, as a people, whether in religious, whether in family life, we are all called to reach out to our young persons. There is so much young people to talk to them, and people will call a spade without hiding anything. That's all they need. But if it is about sex, talk about it the way it's supposed to talk to, because parents fear addressing issues to do with sexuality with the young person. So it's left for us, teachers and counselors and all that. So it is a call. It's amazing to hear of the testimony from different areas where AJAN is present, and the amazing job that they are doing. Mine is not meant to be a speech, so at this point in time, entertainment. We have an acrobatic group coming to entertain us. After that entertainment, I would wish that we engage in some, Maurice, what do we call it? Energizer. Thank you. So those entertaining us, they are welcome.
naenda kulewa, fika huko njiani napata polisi, wauliza sisi vijana nyinyi ni nani? Sisi najibu afande sisi yunasi, tunaenda lewa lakini sio ndindindi.
Bamurai chunga msilewe, mkawa ndindindi, baisake chunga msilewe, mkawa ndindindi, bamurai chunga msilewe, mkawa ndindindi, baisake chunga msilewe, mkawa ndindindi, mama chunga msilewe, baba chunga msilewe, mtoto chunga msilewe, mkawa ndindindi, mama chunga msilewe, baba chunga msilewe, mtoto chunga msilewe, mkawa ndindindi. Was born in daylight, the daughter of Ruth, a chief, a girl very bright. The tenka mudoto la ketara charbir, kila big neck befriended the daughter of Kibir. AJAN ya mama, I love you but only you and I should know this alone, and if not you will die. Baby give me a chance, you know the tool, let me try. Era no photo, AJAN we never told a lie. The season after season, many questions, dark zone. Spilling all the beans to a self-distraction. Oh, tuoni baba donge ye kirti momonyo dacha omiya werie kiwinje ka tuongi jaber kiwinje achieng nyaber nyagotoyo mama kumintie to tienda gima chama tuoni baba donge ye kirti momonyo dacha omiya werie atongo adua kiwinje amal luongi atongo adua kiwinje amal luongi achieng my dear how sweet is that zombie Beauty and the Beast, is that your story?
Of one 18-year-old boy and a proud mom. I knew AJAN 10 years ago, and I knew AJAN at the time. I needed friends, I needed a family, I needed a shoulder to lean on. I was sick, I was desperate, I was neglected and rejected. But I met AJAN through a friend of AJAN at a youth seminar in Thika Road at Radio Omini. And Kevin took me to AJAN. I found Father Michael, and he took me in. He took care of me as a daughter. I found a family in AJAN, up to date. I'm glad because I am who I am today after 10 years because of AJAN. I was at the edge of death, but AJAN brought me back to life. They took care of me and my son. Just the other day, I buried my second child through cancer, a 3-year-old boy. And AJAN was there for me throughout. Whenever I'm down, I know I have friends, I have family at AJAN. I can call anyone. From the security guard, to the accountant, to the manager, to the director, they're all my friends. They've never shut their doors and their hearts at me. Nothing happens in AJAN and I'm not involved. I don't even need a gate pass to enter into an AJAN's event because I'm one of them and they have showed me that. I would like to urge each and every person to encourage and support and take care of everyone who is either infected or affected by the HIV status. I was affected in the year 2002, up to date. I'm alive. I still see hope. I see life. I want to be there and to be called a grandmother by my child's children. And I believe in that. There is hope. Whether you are HIV positive or negative, there is hope. All we need is love and support, nothing else. People can give you money, but it won't help you. But when you know that you truly have someone that can listen to you and give you that love, that truly unconditional love, you see light at the end of the tunnel. So thank you very much, AJAN. You can see Mama Rose here. She's been my mom at AJAN. You can see my long-time Patrice friend there. I've found true friends. Whenever I talk about AJAN, I feel tears, but tears of joy and love because I've found a home, despite having a mom and a dad, biological ones, despite having siblings. But I cannot compare to them. I cannot compare them to what I've got in AJAN. So, AJAN, keep the spirit going. Keep the hope going for us. We are behind you. We support this program so much. And I know that big things, great things are coming out of AJAN. So thank you very much. I appreciate you've made me the person that I am today. Without you, I'll be long gone. But I thank God for you. Be blessed. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, the director of this African Jesuit AIDS Network, Father Kunam, Sister Mary Owens, the director of Nyumbani, the directors of all the projects that AJAN operates under, and all the protocols observed. Good afternoon, or good morning, eh? It's afternoon already. My name is Peter Ouma Ojunga. I am an alumni of this university. I can see Father Kifle, who read my thesis. Thank you, Father, for who you've been. Okay, I am a person living with HIV for the last 17 years, and I'm still going strong. How did I encounter AJAN? I remember way back 2007, I was a delegate at a preparatory encounter. It was called Ignition Encounter, in preparation for the World Social Forum way back 2007. I remember, Father Roberto, you were in that encounter, and we were in the same thematic discussion, which is HIV and AIDS. I remember that is the time I disclosed my status for the first time. By then, Father Patan Oxians Mombe, who is not here present with us, was a director of the project which just presented, Togo. By then, when you attended, not knowing that I'll need the support of AJAN 2 years down the line. Actually, 2009, I was down. When I mean down, I mean I was nearly dying. I was at the deathbed. Way back in my rural area. And given the fact that I'm coming from a background whereby I wanted to become a priest, and yet I'm HIV positive, I think that background helped me to introspect myself and to take all that richness that I had to really come up. And when I was at my deathbed, suffering from TB and HIV, and you know the combination is quite deadly, I told God, and I've written it in my book in page 91. Allow me to quote myself. God, I believe that you did not create me to end my life without achieving something for you. This is a prayer I was making while on my deathbed. I sincerely ask you, I sincerely urge you, I sincerely implore you to raise me up from this deathbed. Show me what I need to do for you. Meanwhile, give me an opportunity to go back to school. This is what I ask God. School will open my mind and see things much differently. Moreover, going back to school, Lord, will get me out of this stigmatizing environment, and I'm sure I will heal, Father. I trust and believe you will answer my prayer through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. That is the prayer I made that night when I was alone. Remember this time, just like a child, my elderly mother used to come and take care of me, like we take care of a child. So, the morning that followed, she came and found that my eyes were brighter. Something had happened different than she used to see. It was like God visited me with his angels. She saw some hope, she showed some brightness, and actually she commented, "Today you're looking bright." I said, "Wow, so it's visible." The angels visited me. And indeed, this prayer was answered. That was the beginning of my rising from my deathbed to who you are seeing today. Then I remembered, for me to come out of this stigmatizing environment, I need to go back to school. I just didn't know which school, but I said, the best thing, let me go to Nairobi. Then something told me to call. By then, Father Patan of Zions Mombe had assumed his directorship at AJAN. I called him and I explained to him what I was going through. He told me, "Come." And you know, by that time, how I was, now I am 82 kilograms. Imagine me at 37 kilograms. How was I looking like? I remember when I reached the gate of AJAN, the first person to have received me was Pauline. Is Pauline here? Yeah. Pauline looked at me. I saw the shock in her face. But the determination with which I rose from that deathbed, I said, no matter what somebody gets shocked, I am determined to rise. She asked me, "Are you our guest?" I said, "Yes, I'm here to see Father Patan." She ushered me, and it's good to have skills and talents. I have a background of project management and planning. I was together with my friend here in the same class at Kwea, Sami. So those skills were urgently needed at AJAN. So Father said, the best thing you'll do, you'll be doing reports and proposals. So immediately I had carried unaona mattress 3x6 and the books. I immediately got a Mabati house near AJAN and life began. So every day I used to go for mass and I kept on really praying for whatever, because I knew God had already answered my prayer. Now the matter was just to really reinforce and cement myself to make sure that those prayers answered are intact. And I got a scholarship to do my master's, and I did my master's here. Fully paid, courtesy of the Catholic Scholarship Program. My prayer to go back to school, was it not answered? It was answered. I remember when I began my master's here, I was still on my TB drugs. And with TB and HIV, you need to eat. I just didn't know how to survive the incidental costs. I was not ashamed to approach the Jesuit community. I told them my situation, and they embraced me like a brother. Thank you, Father Kifle, Father Gansa. Everyone really supported me. The first semester was tough because I was also changing from first line to second line. Those who don't know, with HIV, these drugs have different regimens. The first line had failed. Why? Because I was looking for a cure. How many of you heard of Loliondo? I crossed the border to go and take that cup. Mzee gave me that cup, thinking that after taking that cup, I will be healed. I was yearning. Anybody who is HIV positive or having any other incurable disease, when you tell them there is a cure, they'll be running for it. I ran to Loliondo. When I came back, the test was still positive. I did not believe it. I went to another visit, it was positive. And remember, when we went to Loliondo, we were told, don't carry your drugs, usibebe dawa, because unaenda kwa imani, you are going by faith. And you know, when you miss you take your ARVs with 1 minute, what happens? The virus replicates so immensely. A doctor told me to a team of 1 million viruses. And what the virus does is to kill your cells. So the first line failed. I was put on the second line. Then, simply because I'm still yearning for cure, I went to another prayer house in Karachuonyo, within Homa Bay. There was a prophet who came up, hey, I can cure. And the idea was, if you come to my house, don't come with the drugs. I abandoned my drugs for another 3 weeks, almost 1 month. Why? I needed to be cured. That made it the second line to almost fail. I think 2 drugs failed. Only one was operating. It costed me 40,000 to establish which drug was not operating in my body. So right now, I am the very few Kenyans who are on third line. Am I lying, Sister Mary?
No,
very few.
No, that's correct.
Yes. Why? It's because of the circumstances. Most of them, let me not say everything which is in the book. You can go down the exhibition, my book is there. You can read extensively my story. And the reason why I wrote this, not just for the sake of it. When I became a statistic among the 1.6 million living with HIV in this country, just like my prayer before, I say, what can I do for you, Lord? As I was doing my master's, I was able, on the process of discernment and spiritual direction, I grabbed on something that I can do for the Lord. And this is what I'm now doing for the Lord. I decided to put a book together, particularly my story. A book which will go out there to fight stigma and discrimination, because I really suffered it. When somebody died in my village, people were running to my hut, thinking that I'm the one dead. And tongues were waking. He left the altar of the Lord. That's why Lord is Mungu anamcha and anamchapa. So the environment was too toxic. So when I was here studying, I decided after my master's, I'll put up a book together with an aim of reaching out to especially the youth, so that we can tone down on stigma associated with being HIV positive, and also encourage people to know their status. Are you aware that according to UN's 2013 UN AIDS Gap report, 19 million of the 35 million people living with HIV do not know that they're HIV positive. That is almost 53%. Watu wanatembea na virusi na hawajui. That is too dangerous. That is one thing that encouraged me to write this book. Then the other thing is stigma, and the last one is the rising numbers of infected young people. So I decided to put this book together. Right now, what I do, apart from running Center for Integrated Community Empowerment back in Homa Bay, is to reach out to schools. I give talks to schools, universities, and corporates as I disseminate this book. Let me finish. This book has done some miracles. It has averted 2 suicide attempts as I'm talking to you from November. And I'm journeying with those newly diagnosed people. Quite a number of people who are almost giving up, also living with HIV, have been experiencing metanoia, change of attitude towards their seropositive status. And I know this book is still going to touch many souls. It's a book in a mission. Otherwise, may I express my sincere gratitude to AJAN. For AJAN picked me from the deathbed to who I am now. I have achieved what I really was longing for, undetectable levels of viral load. You know what it means to have achieved that when you're living positively? So joyful. Undetectable levels. I take my drugs on time, and I know whatever I want to achieve, according to God's will, I will achieve. I'm now thinking of going to do my PhD. Pray with me that I do it. I want to touch more souls. And so more souls I will touch. AJAN touched me. Just like Ignatius said, go forth and set the world on fire. AJAN is really touching, setting the world on fire in the context of HIV and AIDS. Father Queenam, thank you very much for helping me launch this book. You are a wonderful person. I'm seeing Jesuits like people running in a relay. When people running in a relay, they carry what? Sticks, eh? And everyone is doing their effort. It's passed on the stick to Father Elphige, and I know Elphige is going to run, setting the world on fire, and will pass the stick to somebody else. And indeed, lives are going to change. God bless you. A luta continuer.
Thank you. So the first homeless guy, and he told them, I don't need any of those. I only need someone to talk to. Didn't need money, didn't need food, didn't need beer. I only need somebody to talk to. Another guy refused money and beer. Said, I'll only accept food, no money. So at the end of the day, it's only the support that we give to our brothers that counts a lot. The last speaker of AJAN beneficiaries, I'm inviting Essie on behalf of Mirror of Hope. Essie, if you're in the house, I'm giving you 2 minutes to share something.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Essie Mbogwa. I'm here to speak on behalf of Mirror of Hope, which is also a beneficiary of AJAN. We have partnered with AJAN in our Women Empowerment Program. We are a community-based organization, which is based in Our Lady of Guadalupe Parish at Adams. We have a Women Empowerment Program, which involves ladies who live in Kibera and who are HIV positive. We have our vision for the ladies is to empower them economically because they are vulnerable because of their status. What we do with the women is we come up with different kind of income generating activities, and with those activities is where we met AJAN. They came, trained our women in making some items, some bags, necklaces and bangles from paper and mud. They also provided financial support for our ladies, and we are so grateful for that. So far we have been able to empower quite a number of ladies. I could say 30, and we have begun with others from the beginning of this year. The program started in 2011. We have been phasing out those who started. We are now enrolling others into the program. I would like to encourage or to ask again that AJAN also comes in and partner with us in empowering the new ladies who feel maybe vulnerable and who are not able to sustain their families, because most of them are single parents living in a slum and also who are HIV positive. That makes life a bit difficult. I would like to invite AJAN to partner with us in empowering these women. If we could go to our tent, we have an opportunity shop there. You could see some of the items the ladies who are trained before have made. And now we want to encourage the new ones who to also make such items or even go far with other items they make. Our objectives for the ladies is just to empower them financially so that they can be able to support their families, they can be able to keep life moving, because with the status, someone feels, you feel you're not like the others maybe will look at you in a different way. So when you meet others who are your kind, you feel at home, you feel at least there are some who are like me. So that is why we bring these ladies together and ask for what they would like, how they would like their lives to change, and that is how we come in and provide different kinds of activities to as far as we can go, and now leave them, as in not leave them completely, but see their progress, and when we see they have been empowered, that is when we now begin facing them out. As I want to conclude with our motto, which says, founded in love, founded in hope and rooted in love. These people, what they need most is just to feel that love. Even if you're not like them, just show them love. Show them that you understand them. Show them that you are able to put yourself in their position, to not neglect them as others have done. Just share out that love, and they will feel they are human. They are just like others. It is just that there is that status that maybe makes them feel vulnerable. Just show them love, and they will be so happy. Our communities will be so full of happy people. I hope to reach out to anyone who wishes to support our ladies. Please feel free. Thank you, everyone, and I wish you a good afternoon.
Thank you. The program to AJAN Director, Father Nfeng, and he will do two things, more or less. One, to invite the JSAM President to say something, and then we will conclude by our guest speaker, Sister Mary Owen, to talk to us as well. So, Father Nfeng,
for all his goodness to me, I will bring a wine offering to the Lord to thank him for saving me. In the assembly of all his people, I will give him what I have promised. Reverend Father Orobato, President of Jesuit Superiors of Africa and Madagascar, Reverend Sister Mary Owens, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. These verses of the Psalm 116 describe the settings and mindset of our gathering today. We are here to express our gratitude to God for the existence of AJAN, for helping the network, the family of Jesuits and collaborators, to undertake the mission to fight HIV and AIDS that has been threatening the world, but mostly the African population for decades. We are here also to express our gratitude to the many organizations and individuals that have been supporting AJAN to achieve what it did up to today. Yes, it has been 15 years now that Jesuits and collaborators have been trying to link together to face the challenge of HIV and AIDS. 15 years are not too much with regard to the beginning of the HIV epidemic. But 15 years is about the linking to face the epidemic. For although the network was officially launched in 2002, it is the fruit of years of groundwork by Jesuits and collaborators involved in HIV and AIDS ministry in Sub-Saharan Africa, who sought to promote an intensified concerted responses to the pandemic. As I mentioned in the opening remarks, AJAN is found where AIDS meets the Jesuits and their co-workers. Facing the multiple challenges of the devastating impact of HIV and AIDS in their daily activities in the early 1990s, many Jesuits initiated responses to the devastating impact of the epidemic in their various ministries and places. Nyumbani Children of God Relief Institute is one of these early initiatives that is celebrating this year its 25th anniversary. As the Jesuits and co-workers were struggling against the epidemic, they realized that it will be more helpful and efficient for them to come together to share their experiences and learn from one another, and then coming together with individual experience for a mutual enhancement, they formed a network to protect and safeguard life against the devastating HIV epidemic. They wanted to link for life. In 2003, during the hard time of the fight against HIV and AIDS, as a young Jesuit, I had the privilege to be sent to AJAN when the network had just started. As the epidemic was hitting the African population, the epidemic was identified as a death sentence when someone tested positive. This has been highlighted by the two beneficiaries that are living with this virus and who gave their testimony, who shared their experiences with us in this hall. AJAN then undertook the mission to fight against stigma and discrimination and advocated for treatment for all and prevention to protect young generation from getting infected. With its former directors, Father Michael Cherney and Father Patel Mombe, the young Jesuits and also the young Jesuits who got involved in AJAN's mission, with the various staff who committed themselves to AJAN's work, AJAN has helped its field project to offer various supports: home-based care, medical care, provision of ARVs and maternal health services, youth sensitizing, promotion of prevention of mother-to-child transmission, and income-generating activities for economic empowerment. We are now celebrating 15 years of AJAN, but this is in a contradictory setting where good news and bad news are entwined. There are more and more materials, tools, and treatments that nourish hope. But there is also a reduction of interest and resources that hinder the work, that hinder the poor nations. In some areas, HIV and AIDS are no more an issue. In others, it is still a burden on people. But as the president of JESAM, Father Roberto, encouraged us in our assembly that ended yesterday, AJAN will continue its mission as still threatening the African population. AJAN will be the last to quit the scene as long as a single human life is still in danger. AJAN will continue linking Jesuits and collaborators till HIV and AIDS are no longer an issue in Africa. As our pioneers expressed it, although the problem is great, our hope is still greater. We are filled with hope because of the courage and the living faith we witness in the lives of so many living with HIV and AIDS, and because of the loving care shown by families, communities, and those working in the AIDS area. This statement, made in 2000 by Jesuits gathered in Durban, in South Africa, in 2000, is still relevant today. AJAN still carries on this fruitful determination and willing to continue the battle till the end. AJAN welcomes anyone of good will that wishes to join it in many ways to protect the African life. We have just published a book, a very nice book, to mark this celebration. It tells you about our stories. It tells you about our hope. It tells you about our determination, like determined to live. It tells you about our vision. Don't hesitate to get some copies for you and for your friends. It is just 500 Kenyan shillings, and it is very beautiful, and it values more than what the price that is given to it. You can pay more to support the network. Excellent feast to you, and may the Lord bless you. I would like now to invite the President of JESA to come forward and to address his speech, to share with us what he thinks about AJAN and what he wants AJAN to still continue doing, and also his hope and his determination. Thank you very much. Yeah, the book is called 15 Years for Our People. It tells you the journey of AJAN from 2002 to 2017 to today. It shares with you the battle, the hope of the Jesuit and co-workers who are in the field projects. 15 years for our people. It tells you then the battle for our African continent and for, I would say, human life. So you will discover it once you get it and once you go through it. It is very beautiful, very insightful. So don't hesitate. Thank you very much. They are in the stands, in the tents, AJAN tent that is just next to the chapel. You will get it there. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your patience, and thank you for just being you and being here. I just have 3 things to share with you. The first is For so long, we've become so used to statistics. When we listen to the news, or read the newspapers, or watch television, we see and we hear statistics. X millions of people are dying of starvation. Another X millions of people are dying of one disease or the other. Millions of young people are infected or affected by HIV and AIDS. And we think of these as just statistics. Sometimes you're frightened by these statistics. Other times we've become so desensitized. Well, it's just one more number. But everything we've done here today reminds us that HIV and AIDS is not about statistics. That HIV and AIDS is not about those people out there. HIV and AIDS is about us. As it's been said, AIDS is with us. And when we understand that, we're able to rediscover what it is that links us together. And that is the fact that we all share the same life. I say this because I want to thank, in a very sincere way, everybody who has been a part of this event to mark 15 years of AJAN. AJAN, as we've been told, is a network of many initiatives across the continent run by Jesuits and friends to respond to the challenge of HIV and AIDS. As I've told my colleagues and my companions, it's probably too abstract to think about ourselves as a network. I'd rather we think about ourselves as a family. If you recall the powerful testimony of Rhoda this morning, and we think about ourselves as a family. And that changes the whole perception that we have of this reality. We're a family, and families stay together. Families stay together through thick and thin. And because the reality of HIV/AIDS is present with us as a family, we stand together as a community of solidarity and compassion. And the third thing, we talk about the mission of AJAN. AJAN has no mission. AJAN doesn't have a mission. It's God's mission. It's the mission of Christ. We are collaborators, all of us, in that mission. AJAN hasn't received a privileged mission. No, God has given each one of us the privilege to be a collaborator in this mission. So I thank each one of you in the many ways in which you participate and collaborate in this mission. And I mean that from everybody who has been an acrobat today, who has been a poet, who has recited a choral verse, who has sang in the chapel, read in the chapel, gave a testimony, mounted a stand, published a book, told a story, or gave any form of witness to what HIV/AIDS means for us today. we are all collaborators in this mission, and there is no exception. So on that note, I thank Brother Ifesh for your work and all the colleagues who work with you at AJAN for all the commitment, the dedication over the last 15 years. But I also want to thank our chief guest, Sister Mary Owens, here present, of Children of God Relief Institute, otherwise known as Nyumbani. Again, another, shall we say, stalwart in this mission to combat the menace of HIV and AIDS. Over the years, working with Father Angelo D'Agostino and committing years of hard work, commitment, and selfless service to this mission. A truly fine example of what we are called to be. And I also want to thank all the directors, coordinators of the AJAN Family Network across the continent. We've heard testimonies from all of them, and to encourage them that their message is being heard. And as I told you about a week ago, we will be the last to quit the scene of battle. We're celebrating 15 years. What does a child of 15 years know? I mean, let's think of it. You're just only beginning. You're just only beginning. And so we can look forward to a future that is full of hope, not because we derive any joy from the challenge of HIV and AIDS, but because we commit fully to meeting that challenge with every possible resource we can muster. So thank you again for the work that you do. And as I was speaking, Dr. Ajayi walked into the room, and I'd like to thank Dr. Ajayi for gracing this occasion. Dr. Ajayi is a great friend of the Jesuits, and many of us have literally passed through his hands. Thank you very much, Dr. Ajayi. And thank you all very much, and God bless you. Asante sana.
And the mission that it is engaging is God's mission. And of course, we simply collaborators in that mission. To put the icing on the cake, allow me to invite Sister Mary Owen.
Father Elfage, distinguished guests, all other protocols observed, good afternoon to us all. How are you feeling now? I think we're rejoicing, aren't we, with AJAN, having listened this morning to all that AJAN has been doing over the 15 years since it was founded. So we join in thanking God with you for this tremendous call that you received back starting in 2000 and which you have responded to over 15 years. Children of God Relief Institute Nyumbani, through our founder, Father Angelo D'Agostino, were very involved with the beginnings of AJAN. I remember Father D'Agostino's great excitement telling me that a group of Jesuits who were in service with persons living with HIV were going to meet in Kulak House in Durban to discuss the possibility of linking up together. He was so excited, and he wrote to me from Kulak House telling me what was going on. And Nyumbani was also present because an intern who had done research on Nyumbani, on the care and treatment we were giving the children, she was asked to present at the meeting, And also our consultant, Dr. Rani Chakraborty, who was very versed in HIV, also gave a speech on the technical areas. So we rejoiced with you when Father Peter Hans Colvenbach in February 2001 responded to what Father Dag called the Jesuit Durban Statement. I know it's in the book, but I don't know what you call it. But he talked all the time about the Jesuit Durban Statement. And Father Colvenbach responded by appointing Father Ted Rogers, whom we knew, to be the JESM HIV/AIDS coordinator. But the great day, again, which we rejoiced with you, was the 21st of June 2002, when AJAN was born. Talking together, Father D'Agostino and I talked about the tremendous word there in a network between the Jesuits in all the Sub-Saharan African countries and Madagascar, where you were. The personnel, the Jesuit personnel, your formation process, and your top-level professional education. What a tremendous resource that was. And then your presence in so many African countries and Madagascar. So the possibilities were enormous. And we could see that this would be a tremendous approach, a response to what was so needed in the HIV pandemic. And now, 15 years later, we see that those possibilities have been realized. We see that through an interdisciplinary, academic, and social services approach, you have been able to penetrate into the communities that need you, persons living with HIV. Through daily presence, for example, in your schools, in the parishes where you are, and in colleges. Then in the various projects, some of which we heard about today, where you are available also for care and treatment for persons living with HIV. Then your capacity building through training and conferences, creating awareness about HIV, which sadly is still so stigmatized. But you are penetrating the communities with the truth about HIV. Then the writings. So many books. At the conference, which we've just had, you had showing all the different books, and of course they're down in the tent down here. All that information being passed about HIV. I was honored to ask to write a chapter in the book AIDS 30 Years Down the Line. I was also very happy to contribute to the Lenten reflections. So the variety of the services that you have available are huge. I remember also the survey you did. Apologies to those of you from other African countries that I'm talking in the Kenyan perspective, but that's the only one I know. That survey you did to find out how the poor who are living with HIV were getting access to care and treatment. And the findings were dreadful, because the poor were being discriminated against as well. So I look forward to your continuing this great mission which God gave you great vision you have, which actually is identical with Nyumbani's vision, except that we focus on children. I look forward to God guiding you and supporting you as you continue to reach out, especially to those who are marginalized. We've heard some stories about people's experiences today, and I hear them all the time. Those who have been, as it were, lost. Father Dad used to always say that children who had inherited HIV were the most marginalized in our world. And they are still marginalized, but also there are adults who are marginalized. So my hope and prayer is that you will continue to be passionately involved as you have been over the first 15 years. At the celebration we had for the Day of the African Child last Friday, one little toddler stood up and said, HIV is powerless. So I thought, but he's right. HIV can be powerless, provided we are there to reach out, to ensure that people needing care and treatment get it, the elimination of the transmission from parents to child will happen, no new infections will happen, through reaching out to the young people, particularly adolescents, as we know, who at the moment are the ones where the infection rate is highest, through the services and through your multiplicity of services all over Africa and in Madagascar. I'm inspired by what you do, and it has given me more passionate motivation to continue the work of Children of God Relief Institute, Nyumbani. Asanteni.
So, let's join. For those who don't know, ugali is
African Jesuit AIDS Network. In the center is the Christian symbol for HIV. I'm wearing it here. Right? And then at the end, 15th anniversary.
Okay, without much ado, kindly pick the knife, Sister Mary. Then I'll ask all of you to hold her hands all together. Yes, cut it all together. Come down.
Of the cake itself?
Have you taken the photo of the cake before it's cut? All right. Kata, 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 usiyogope. Kata, 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 hiyo keki. Kata, 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 usiyogope. Kata, hiyo keki.
Oda members. Attention! Wabiro! All over Macadam. 1, 2, 3! I say give me back that, oh back coma hair. Give me back that coma hair. I say give me back that coma hair. Give me back that coma hair. I say give me back that coma hair. Give me back that coma hair. I say give me back that coma hair. Give me back that coma hair. Jaluo my brother, good morning Japolo. Life in the city, not easy after all. You come to me brother, I give you my comb. 1, 2, 3 days by. You borrow my mirror, and when I ask why bro, you are off to carnival. And now you are telling your sister you really in need of cash to pay your rent and to buy cigarettes. And when you get some shilling, oh my, you are off to carnival. I say give me back that coma hair. Give me back that coma hair. I say give me back that coma hair. Give me back that coma hair. Jaluo nyam nyam, Gorbiro #1. Put the long marachar, Gorbiro go ija canal. And now you are telling your mother to give you some salt. She gives you some salt, she even gives you some sugar. And then you tell your dad, Baba, I need a piece of land. He says to start a home, you need a spear and a shield. Your neighbor says a lot, enough to fill a pepperol. You are the joke of carnival, even the talk of carnival. I say give me back that coma hair. Give me back that coma hair. I say give me back that coma hair. Give me back that coma hair. I say give me back that coma hair. Give me back that coma hair. I say give me back that coma hair. Give me back that coma hair.
Bless us, dear God, and the gifts that we're about to receive through your gracious goodness, and bless all those through whose generosity we have these gifts to share. May these gifts empower, strengthen, and continue to encourage us in our participation and collaboration in your mission to bring life to your people, especially the most marginalized. We pray in Jesus' name.
Amen. There are people dying. Oh, when it's time to lend a hand to life, the greatest gift of all.
We can't go on pretending day by day that someone somewhere will soon make a change.
We all a part of God's great big family.
And the truth, you know, love is all we need.
We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones who make a brighter day. So let's start giving. There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives. It's true, we make a better day. Just you and me. Well, send them your heart so they know that someone cares, and their lives will be stronger and free.
As God has shown us by turning stone to bread, and so we all must lend a helping hand. We are the world. We are the children.
We are the ones to make a brighter day, so let's start giving.
Oh, there's a choice we're making. We're saving our lives. It's true, we make a better day, just you and me.
We get down and out, and there seems no hope at all.
But if you just believe, there's nowhere we can fall.
Well, let's realize, oh, that a change can only come when we stand together as one.
We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones who make a brighter day. So let's start giving. There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives. We'll make a better day, just you and me. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones who make a brighter day. So let's start giving. There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives. It's true, we make a better day. Just you and me. We are the world. We are the children. Our children. We are the ones who make a better day. So let's start giving. Let's start I have known no other God but you. I have known other God but you. No other